Good evening and welcome to Tech Insights broadcast with yours truly, Brian Cochran. I'm your host here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. We're excited to be here today to give you some little something to help you with your technology questions and insights on internet broadcasting. Well, actually, let me show you the different things that we're doing so that we can kind of get where we're at. Our broadcast will cover, not tonight, but in general, video production, audio production, software solutions, and we'll be having interviews with great people that are in the industry of right now, internet tech is what we're talking about now, internet streaming, internet production, and that kind of stuff. A little bit about me. I've been a techie for, sound techie since 1976, and then I got into video production a little bit later on, probably in the early 90s, and then we own our own TV broadcast network called BAC TV Network, and we have several 4 internet TV stations, and we have 6 internet radio stations that are broadcasting on BACTV.net. And so I've got a book and tons of books and resources to help, and so that's a little bit about me. Enough of that. Today, we're going to be talking about what do I need for my audio to stream. If you see those pictures there, we're going to go over various different things that are there to help you to do so. Hello, and I'm excited because this is this part of the topic is because I'm an audio guy. It all kind of ties in together for what I do, and so I'm going to show you some equipment that I use, as well as some tips and insights to kind of help you to do a shortcut versus doing the long way of doing it the way I learned from the beginning, because no one taught me. I learned from the School of the Hard Knocks. And the first thing we're going to start with is start with what you have. And that's so important, because don't try to be like me right away when it comes to what I use. Use what you have. If you have a smartphone, there's an audio on the smartphone. Start with that. If you see on the screen, there's a let me put the screen back up. There's a young lady in the middle that she has a laptop. Use the when I first got started, I used the audio off my laptop because that's all I had. I didn't know what I needed. And then I also, when I grew up just a little bit and went to the next level, I went to this, which is a Logitech C920. And the audio on this is pretty good. The quality of pictures is really good. And so I used this for a while, and it helped me when I first got started. I still use it. I did a broadcast last night, and I did it not here in my office. I did it downstairs, and so I used this versus trying to bring all the equipment downstairs and hook it up, because the audio on this is really, really good. So I just want to start you with that. Start with what you have. Don't get sucked into having to have all the latest equipment, the greatest equipment. When you're just getting started, you don't know what you need. I bought the right stuff, the wrong stuff. I bought, because I am a techie, and because part of what I'm doing now is teaching you, so that way you don't have to do what I did. So this will hopefully these courses that we're teaching you will help you to get to the next level in that. And the next slide, it says, in order for people to hear your video, you need audio plugged into your computer. And if you saw what we kind of show you the workflow before, that unless you're starting with just your phone, then you're going to need a way. If you look at, let me put this back up. Let me put that up real quick. If you look at this little diagram here, the guy has a little mixer. He's using his tablet, and he has a microphone, and he has a iRing to take it into the mixer. The mixer takes it into the laptop or the computer. So that way he's doing a podcast, he's doing a video podcast, a vlog, however you want to say it, but that's what he uses. So we're going to talk about the different equipment that you're going to need in order to do that. And I just want to show you that and give you a little something to kind of let you know that you will need some different things. To go to the next level, you need better audio. If you're just using a smartphone, eventually you're going to want to, and you need to go to the next level. So what I'm going to do now is take you from, if you're just starting with the things we started with before, when you're just using your smartphone, if you're just using your laptop, then the next level is equipment that you're going to need next. That if you remember our first episode, we talked about cameras and the various cameras that we have. So we're going to go through the various things that you're going to need in order for you to do your live streaming effectively and go to the next level. This is basic insights to audio for live streaming is what we're talking about next. And so let's go there. So if you notice here, there's 4 basic ways to bring audio into your workflow for you to be able to add your video to your audio for you to stream out into the world. 1 is you'll see here, 1's a camera, 2 is an audio interface, 3 is a mixer, and 4 is a video switcher. One of those or a combination of those you'll need in order for you to, the camera you're gonna need no matter what, either your phone or some type of camera to do. We talked about that before. So I went through the various cameras that I use, the various cameras that we started with. So you'll need some type of camera to get you started. So let's as they say, let's go. Number 1, camera. So let me do this. So in order for you to do so, each camera has some different inputs. So I brought out a couple cameras to kind of show you, like to get started. So say for instance, this is the Vixia, Canon Vixia R800. The audio on here is pretty good. So what you would do is, in order for this to get into the computer, like we talked about before, you would use some type of capture card, and they will convert it over. But to get it from here to here, you need something like this, which is a HDMI. If you see here, that's what it's called, an HDMI, and it carries video and audio that goes from here into here. I mean, here into here, through here, and it connects to your capture card or capture device, whatever you're using. And then from here, it goes into your laptop. It converts it into USB. And the cool part about it is both your audio and your video goes through the stream. So the same thing with this. This is a 1080p Logitech C920. And the cool part about it is it's already converted to USB, but it also has 2 speakers in it. And so both the video and the audio goes into the USB and plugs into your computer, for that way you could be able to get both your audio and your video together. Let me say this up front, a little pro tip. The best way, unless you have a system that allows you to adjust, have you ever seen, let me say it this way, have you ever watched videos where the audio is not synced with the video, so the words are faster or slower based upon how they recorded it? Well, part of that's because of how it went into the computer and then streamed out. So the best way is to always, like for instance, on this camera here, if you look here, it has XLR, which is called XLR inputs, and we'll get into all that kind of connections later on. So what I do is, when I use this type of camera or any type of camera that I'm using, that I'm trying to do audio, separate audio, I put my microphone into here, line into here, and then my HDMI out to go into a mixer, so that way it lessens the chance for what is called latency. And so this is what I do, so that way you do the same thing. That try to make sure when you do it, if you're just getting started and all you have is a camcorder, great. Just use a camcorder, HDMI. It'll be synced because it's better than separate. A lot of times you'll use the next level, when the next couple of things we're going to talk about, you're going to, there's a chance for latency, chance for the get out of sync. And so I want to make sure we talk about that as well as we go along. So number 1 is camera audio input. Great way to do it. Most folks are doing it that way. They put their camera, they put their oh man, I didn't bring, oh yeah, did. So this is another microphone that is it's called a mini shotgun microphone. This is called a shoe. It hooks onto the camera, and then this plugs into your, this is an 8mm that plugs into the camera, and then it sits on top for it to be able to catch the audio, and then through here, and then it goes out of the HDMI, so that way it stays together for a better opportunity for it to stream without it lagging or getting off sync. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2 is the audio interface, and the audio interface is, and it's so funny because I got into having an audio interface long before audio interfaces came out for for streaming. This is the one. Here we go. This is the one I use. I've had it for a long time. It's by Tascam, and Tascam is known for recording. So I got this because when I started doing certain type of recording, and I was starting to bring stuff into my computer for recording to do outside recording, I use this where XLR goes into here. It comes out on USB on this side, plugs it into the computer. It has two inputs for microphones, so I can have for simplicity's sake, I use this one. I have another one that's next that we'll talk about next. But if you look back on the screen, let me put the screen back up. There we go. The one in the middle, which is Scarlett, and it's by Focusrite. That's probably the most popular one today. The one underneath is Personas. And then if you're on a budget, there's another one called Behringer, and the Behringer one is great. I don't have any of the information down below. Just Google it or go to Amazon and choose. If you have a budget, the Scarlett's probably the best. It's the best quality of the three that I'm talking about. But they all work but basically what it does is it just takes the analog signal, make it digital for it to go inside your computer. So it doesn't matter which one you really use. They're all the same, but sometimes if you want, if you're trying to do broadcast quality, then you need to, go ahead and spend a little bit more money to get the better one. So number two is audio interface. The next one is a audio mixer, and an audio mixer, and it's kind of cool. If you look at the picture, that's an audio mixer. That's a Behringer Eurotrack, and it plugs into. They're using it for a phone, and so you can use it for the phone. You can use it for whatever. Let me pull up the one that I use, and I'll tell you why I use this one. One, because it's inexpensive, but two, the quality is incredible. And this one right here is by a company called Monoprice, and it's an 8-channel mixer. But the cool thing about it is it takes a USB. So I can take 4 mic inputs. If you look here, it has 4 mic inputs here. So I can do 4 XLR mic inputs. So if I'm doing a podcast, which we do, or a video podcast, then I can put 4 cameras. Have 4 cameras as well as 4 audio in, goes in the USB into my computer, and I can mix it. I can put on headphones and I can hear it in the mix. So that way it also has, if you look at it, it has a built-in EQ on it. It also has some other processing to be able to make it work. There's some better ones that are out there and different ones that are out there. But this is the one I use because, matter of fact, I use this probably for all small events, even outside of doing that, because I do audio production as well. I used this past weekend because I only needed 2 microphones. It's small footprint, real clean, and real easy to use. And so I use that. So with the audio interface, you'll say, Brother Cochran or Brian, which one should I use? Should I use an audio interface or should I use a mixer? Well, basically it goes, it's on what your vision is, how much money you have, and is there other uses that you're using it for. There's also which I didn't put on there, which I probably should have, and I apologize, that there's also video mixers that are also available as well, that for audio, like Roland has one, and I can't think of the other ones, but there's also those that are made specifically for video production that's available as well, which I didn't put that there because I don't use it, because I use something else, which will show the next one, which is the one that I use. So number 3 is audio mixer. Let's go to number 4. And number 4 is utilizing, let me put it up on the screen, is utilizing a video switcher. And a video switcher, like I use the ATEM Mini, and I should have brought another camera in, which I didn't. This week has been a crazy week already, so I apologize. I was gonna put another camera here to show you what I'm using right here, but I have the ATEM Mini and the ATEM Mini Extreme. So the cool part about the ATEM Mini or using a video switcher is that it brings the audio and the video together. So if you're using just regular cameras, and it goes back to what I mentioned earlier. I'm going to take this off the screen just for a second. That it's the Blackmagic ATEM Mini, ATEM Mini Pro or Extreme or their line are HDMI. So all the cameras that I use are HDMI, either Mini or or regular HDMI. So for me, it's a perfect mixer because it takes the audio as well. And then if I want to do separate audio, which I've done stuff where I have PTZ cameras, and with my PTZ cameras, I'm not able to. It doesn't have any audio; they're just cameras. So I had to have an external microphone, or say I want to bring. So I'm doing an event where I needed to, like I'm using a mixer. When I'm doing a live show of some kind, the mixer is usually bigger. But what I could do is take this, like I did this past weekend, and take a feed off of here and put it into an ATEM Mini Pro and inside one of the inside the controller for the audio for the ATEM Mini, and so that way I have control for the streaming for what I was doing, the recording I was doing. I was able to use that to do so. So the video switches is probably the most complete, but it's also the most expensive. The ATEM Mini, the one that you see on the screen, it goes for $295, and then there's the ATEM Mini Pro, and that one goes for $495, and then they have one that's called the ISO, which jumps up to I forgot what the price of that one is. $695 or $600 or $800, and then they come out just recently. They came out with the Extremes, and the Extremes are 8-channel switchers, which we have those as well because there's a lot of times we need more cameras. But the cool part about it is that with the switcher, it has so many other functions that help with the production. And if you look on the left side of the screen, they're using ATEM switcher. They're also using it also comes with software that helps you run it. So what they're doing is, if you look at the picture there, they're recording, and in the recording, that they're using multiple cameras, but they also get to see the volume control coming from the cameras, as well as they're able to do some EQing on it because the ATEM Mini also has EQ, and it also has compression and limiter and different effects in there that for you to be able to make your sound real good. So let me come back. So if your goal is ultimately some of the video switchers that are audio only, they'll have effects on them as well. So there's one, Behringer has one called the Flow 8. And the Flow 8 is an incredible audio mixer, but is set up for podcasting. So it has effects in it, has reverb and delay, as well as the limiter and compressor on it, all in one, and it goes for about $295. Bad thing about it is they're hard to get. So I guess what happened, I don't know all that happened. I'm only surmising because they've been out. They're supposed to come out last year, and they still haven't come out fully. There's only one distributor, and I can't even think of the name of the distributor that has it. But if you get a hold of that, it's great because for the money, and if you're doing audio, it's an 8-channel mixer as well, just like this one here that I have already. But it also has effects on it. So for me doing smaller events where I want to have a reverb or delay on the audio, or having a singer, because I use delay or audio for singers mainly, but then with compression and limiter, which we'll get into another time, I'm able to put compression on it to keep the sound level down low, but at the same time, it sounds great. That when it peaks, a limiter brings it down, and the compressor compresses the signal and gate, so that way it cleans up your sound, and we'll get into that another time. But some of these switchers all come with the ATEM Mini switcher does. And then some of the other Pro line switchers do. And so you can save some money with your audio by doing that. So we're almost done, are we? Yeah. Wait, let me put this up. In conclusion, it's based upon your budget, which one you use, based upon your expertise of understanding how to use it. And the third one is what you plan on using it for. And so you always hear me say that because one of those things that when I first got started, I was on a limited budget. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no expertise. But now that I'm becoming more of a professional, that I'm buying better equipment, more efficient equipment to help me do my job a lot easier. So for you, get started where your budget is. Don't look at what I'm doing. I've been doing this a very long time, and I want you to be where I am. So why we're doing these tech insights is for you to be able to save money, save time, and save resources to not have to do what I do. I buy a lot of these different things because I'm trying to learn and grow. And as now that I'm doing the show, I can share those resources with you, so that way it saves you money. I also have a book. If you want more insights on how to start your internet broadcasting from, it's called Startup Guide to Internet Broadcasting. It's my #1 seller. It's written by me. It's available on Amazon and Kindle, as well as it's available on briancochran.org. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. The book's available on ebook as well as a hardback book. I mean, it's paperback book, excuse me, and it's a great resource that will walk you through all the different things, all the different type of broadcasting. If you're looking to do podcasting or vlogging and that kind of stuff, it shows you what kind of equipment you need, software, all the things you need to do is also in this guide that we have put together. And that's it for today. Yay! Thank you for watching Tech Insights. We're here again every Tuesday at 6 p.m. I hope something's been said or done to help you with your tech ministry, help you to be able to get up and running faster, stronger, and farther than me. And that's what this course is all. I mean, that's what this broadcast is all about. I'm yours truly, Brian Cochran. And if you need help with your streaming, need help with learning how to do it, we do offer classes as well as we install. We have sound, lighting, and video production. We do sales, training, and service, as well as installations. So if you have a church or a business that you need production, we can do it for you. My contact information is on the screen. I want to thank you so much for being a part of us, and let people know, share this, like this. And let me say this before I go off the air, that this is the 5th one. If you're just getting started, just tuning in for the first time, go to bactv.net, or if you're on Facebook or YouTube, on those platforms, you go back and look at all 5. Start from the very first one, because the first one goes in the cameras and it leads you through what it takes to put it together. Our next one's going to go into, as a conclusion of this series to get started, and I'm doing right now is very basic. The basic of what do you need, because again, I don't know what you know, and I don't want to take it for granted that you know everything. I learned that the hard way, because I thought, I said, oh yeah, you should know that, and I remembered that I've been doing this a long time. So I'm starting with the basics, so that way if there's something you're farther along than that, okay, great, we'll be doing some stuff for you later on. But this is for a person who's aspiring to go forward, to learn how to do it the right way, to learn how to do it cost effectively, to be able to take their business, take their ministry, take their vision, and take it using the internet as a vehicle to do so. It's a great vehicle to do it, and we want to help you to do so. So go back and look at those other videos if you haven't done so as of yet. And thank you so much, and God bless you. If you have any questions before I get off the air about what I've talked about today, I want to give you an opportunity to, if you go ahead in the comment section below and type in your question. If not, then we are off the air, and tune in next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. We will be back with another class, which I talked about earlier, that we will be going through again. We will be going through what kind of cords, the length of cords that you're going to need, that kind of all the little ancillary stuff. And then I'm going to show you actually how to put together everything together, so that way you can go to streaming. Then we'll also get into the software next week as well, the software that I use and recommend, and as well as other stuff. And the reason why I use them, because the bottom line is for us is, if you try, if you're just using, like I was watching a guy this morning or just a couple of minutes ago, and he was talking about, he doesn't like Zoom. Well, yes, Zoom has a challenge, and we're going to talk about those type of platforms and what the good, bad, and different of them are. So that way, when you make a decision, what streaming software you're going to use to go out into the world, you can do it. Either you can go straight from, straight as it is to, just like you're watching Facebook, you can go straight now to Facebook, you can go straight now to YouTube. But if you plan on doing more and growing more, I want to add lower thirds and some of the things, just like what I'm doing now, you have to have, I use the PowerPoint. So because I'm using PowerPoint, I needed something more to allow me to do that. So I want to be able to help you do that. So that way, if you're doing presentations or whatever you're using, that you'll be able to do it and do it professionally and look good to your people and be able to get your message across. This is Brian Cochran with Tech Insights. We'll see you.